Hello everyone. We are in Bodrum in the 2022 Optimist World Championship. I am Asya Ikizler and I will be the live commentator in the following days in the live streams. Yesterday we concluded the qualification series in the fleet race where Ukraine, Lithuania and Italy is top three, but we will obviously see what happens in the final series. Today we will see the first day of the team race championship where we will have the qualifications, and tomorrow the best teams that make it will race in the final race in the team race, and we will know who will be the winner of the Optimist Team Race World Championship. And now we will watch the races.
Ayça tamam. Ayça duyuyorsa tamam. Arkadaş ayrılabilir mi? Ayça yakın tren geçiyor.
Şu startı vereyim mi genişten? Startı vereyim mi genişte? İki kamera iki dedi.
Hello again. Now there are two courses. We're in the Bravo course and we are watching the seventh race of the day, which is Azerbaijan versus Ukraine. And Ukraine is known to be a strong team, so We'll see what happens. They just had their start. They're going towards the first mark. And it seems like Ukraine is first, second, and fourth. But this is only the first mark, so it's pretty close. We'll see how the combination goes. All right. The first boat, a Ukrainian boat, is super close to the mark, and there is a pretty big gap between that boat and the rest of the fleet. There is currently fighting. Ukraine should be winning as the first boat did not stop to help his teammates, but is continuing towards the second mark. Now we have the second boat turning, also Ukraine, and the third boat also Ukraine, which means that Ukraine is currently winning. At the moment, the sixth race of the day just finished, and we see that Peru did first, second, and third, so they also won. Peru is also known to be a strong team within this competition. On the Ukraine versus Azerbaijan, we can see that the third boat is actually Azerbaijan, but since Ukraine is first, second, and fourth, they're still winning. So we see that the first boat is pretty relaxed because the gap is growing, and they're not stopping and just continuing towards the finish line. Azerbaijan is trying to make Ukraine the last two boats because that's the only case where they can win. If Ukraine finishes first, second, and the last two, Azerbaijan will win. So the group is jibing and is trying to help their teammates. So we see a lot of tacking and jibing in the downwind at the moment. Oh, I think Ukraine had they're doing a penalty turn, which is helping Azerbaijan at the moment. The first boat that has a pretty large gap is continuously checking their teammates because they will stop in case the team is not winning, as this is team race. It is not about the individual results, but overall team results, as they should have the least points in total to win the race. See, first is Ukraine, second is Ukraine, third is Azerbaijan, fourth is also Azerbaijan. But to win this, as they're the first two boats, Ukraine just needs to finish sixth at the worst case. So unless they're seventh, they should be good. They're finishing their last reach. Yeah, the first boat, Ukraine, is waiting as there's a pretty large gap to help their teammates in case of need. Second. Okay, in the last reach, the third Ukrainian boat catched up, and at the moment they're still winning. As Ukraine is first, second, fourth, and seventh. Okay. The fourth boat, that is Azerbaijan, is trying to slow down Ukraine to help her teammates. They're very close, but they got a penalty turn. Azerbaijan got a penalty turn, so Ukraine is currently winning, but they were very close and they could have won. So Ukraine is waiting for their teammates. But because of the penalty turn, Azerbaijan is currently 7th and 8th, which means that it will be really hard for them to win. The wind has dropped a lot. It is the final meters towards the finish. And as the wind has dropped a lot, I think anything could happen in this upwind. Okay. Well, no, that wasn't really enough. So I would say it's pretty sure that Ukraine is about to win because currently they're first, second, and third. And if something changes, maybe fourth, but it is still a winning combination. So the sailors are going towards the finish line, and they don't really need to wait anymore because they're already winning.
İneceğim biraz sonra ineceğim.
And yes, Ukraine finished the first top three, which means they won. And now we can look at the next race. Which is Bulgaria against GBR. They're currently at the first mark. And they're very close. Now we will see better when they come to the second mark, but all boats seems very close. We have GBR first, second Bulgaria that was waiting for to help out their teammates as they're pretty close. Yeah, we can see Bulgaria is slowing down to help out the teammates. Okay, the first boat turned the second mark, and it is GBR, followed by, actually all the boats are almost next to each other, it is pretty packed. And there should be a lot of fighting in the downwind. As we can already see all of them jibing to get starboard, to create overlap, and to use the sailing rules for their advantage and to eliminate their... Someone got a red flag, which means they have to do 2 penalty turns. We'll see which boat is that one. And that is Bulgaria. Bulgaria is doing a penalty turn. First boat is GBR, second is GBR next to the Bulgarian boats, and as the wind has picked up, they are moving together. And the third boat is Bulgaria, who's trying to slow down the British boats to help out their teammates so they can catch up. And as the 2 first boats of GBR have now a gap. I think the Bulgarian will try to make the other last two. In that case, Bulgaria will win, even if GBR finishes in the first two positions. The first two boats are at the last upwind, both being from GBR. And I think Bulgaria had another penalty turn. So now we have the third boat from GBR, but it's very close with Bulgarian boats, so we'll do anything to slow that boat down so that others could catch up. But currently it looks like GBR is winning, as they are the first three boats. The first two boats are waiting before going into the finish line just in case. But it is very hard for them to lose at the moment, so they cross the finish line, and the winner of the 8th race is GBR. So they will race against Ukraine in their next match. Now the 9th match has started. It's Thailand against Mexico. Thailand has been very strong in team racing, winning most of the Team Race World Championships in the past years. And they're once again one of the favorites in 2022, and now they're approaching the first mark. You can see the first two boats are from Thailand. And if I'm not mistaken, so is the third boat, which means they are currently winning. They just rounded the first mark, going towards the second. As you can see, the team races are very short. The course is very short, and they're not very long because they have to do a lot of them, and it's really about the maneuvers you do in between to make sure that your team is in a winning position. Yes, currently the first three boats are from Thailand, so and they do have a gap between them and the fourth boat, which means unless something major happens, they are currently winning with ease, I would say. The first three boats have rounded the third mark. Now they're going reach towards the fourth mark. Yes, and as the first three boats are from the same country, they're just going towards the finish line and there isn't much action going on. In fact, the fourth boat from Thailand has managed to pass the Mexican boat, so now they're currently going to the finish line as the first four boats. And yes, we can say it's pretty safe that Thailand has won this match against Mexico. And they will race with the winner of the next match, which is between Hungary and Singapore. And they're about to start. So the 10th match of the day in the B course has picked up and is Hungary versus Singapore. I think there's a protest between Mexico and Thailand, and they're currently resolving on the water with the umpires. Oh, I am sorry, the 10th race has not started because the race committee is currently waiting. Hello again. We had taken a small break from racing at the B course as there was AP and the race committee has made some changes in the marks. Now we have Singapore against Hungary racing. They're already going towards the third mark. So the first boat is Singapore, second is Hungary, third, and they're pretty close. The third boat is also from Hungary and the fourth is Singapore. Currently we have the first and second from Hungary, third from Singapore, fourth from Singapore, and they're pretty close. So it will come down to what happens in this final reach and the upwind. In this current position, Hungary is winning. However, the whole fleet is very close. So if Singapore manages to help out their teammates and slow down the Hungarians, there might be some changes. The first three boats has turned the fourth mark, I'm sorry, they're going towards the finish line. It is Hungary, and very close we have three boats from Singapore back to back. Singapore has to catch up at least one of the Hungarian boats and slow it down, as the last boat is from Hungary. So if they manage to make the third boat seventh, they could win. We can see that Singapore and Hungary are in a attack race. They're attacking on each other, trying to slow each other down. You can see the Hungarian is controlling the Singapore boat to make sure that it doesn't thing. We can see two other boats from Singapore that went to the left-hand side trying their chances to catch up, and the last boat is from Hungary. So it boils down to what happens between the third boat of Hungary and the first boat of Singapore as they're going towards the finish line. In the current position, Hungary is still winning. One of the boats from Singapore catched up, and now Hungary is first, second, and fourth, and the third one is from Singapore. If the race finishes like this, Hungary is still winning. However, one of the boats that went to the left-hand side from Singapore did also catch up with the fleet, so we will see how it ends. Hungary just needs to manage not to finish the last two boats, as they are the first two, and they enter the finish line. So Singapore has to make sure to make the Hungarian boats the last two to win. But I think that wasn't the case. And Hungary still won. And now we can see Sweden against Estonia. They're going towards the third mark. The first boat is from Sweden, so it's the second one. It is a winning combination. The last boat is from Estonia, so currently Sweden is winning. But we can see that the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh boat are next to each other in the downwind. So Estonia should make some moves to help out their teammates. Soracağım. Currently, Sweden is first, second, and third, and fourth, actually, going towards the fourth mark. They're in a winning position. So unless something happens to the third and fourth boats from Sweden, like penalty turns, Sweden is in a pretty strong position to win. They're turning the mark, going upwind to the finish line. Yes, Sweden should be pretty confident right now, as they are the first four boats with some gap. Although it looks like the last upwind is a pretty long leg, so they should still be careful. The next match with Bermuda and Chile just started. They're going towards the first mark. We can see that at the first mark, a lot of boats are waiting, as on the team race, you do have to leave the first mark on your starboard and not on your port like fleet race. So you have to turn the mark as a port boat, which makes it pretty difficult. And so it allows a lot of boats to help out their teammates and to put some more action, as this is a team race and is a pretty short course. Okay, they all managed to turn the first mark, going towards the second. And it looks like the first two boats are from Bermuda. Yes, Sweden just crossed the finish line. They won their match. So going back to the Bermuda versus Chile race match, I'm sorry. The first four boats actually are from Bermuda, although the third and the fourth boat are pretty close with the rest of the fleet. So nothing is sure at that end. But the first two boats have a small gap with the rest of the fleet. So it comes down to what happens in the second part of the fleet, and if the boats from Chile make sure that the two boats from Bermuda that are next to them finishes the last two boats. So we can say that if you are the first two boats, it's a pretty strong position, and the only thing you have to make sure that at least one of your teammates passes at least one of the opponent team. And in that case, you're automatically winning. Bermuda, so they're also winning. But as I said, the second part of the fleet is pretty close, so nothing is certain at that end. And they're turning the fourth mark going towards the finish line as the last upwind. The first two boats from Bermuda will be looking over their shoulders to see what happens to their teammates, but unless they're in big trouble, I think they'll just concentrate on passing the finish line and making sure they're still in a winning combination, in which they are at the moment. There was a but the jury said that it is clean, so there's no penalty turns. But now the third boat from Bermuda also has a gap with the rest of the fleet, which means whatever happens to the last boat from Bermuda, they will still be winning. And we also saw that the fourth boat from Bermuda just said to their teammates, go, go, go to the finish line, because they're already winning. So there's we can time is actually super important. So that's why we just saw the last boat from Bermuda screaming at their teammates to cross the finish line. And the race is over. Say just started their match with Poland, and they were the winners of their own match from the beginning, because now all the matches are over. So from now on, who will race against who is according to if they won their first match or lost them. As the winners will race against the winners and the losers will race against the losers to try to make sure they are still in the race and don't get disqualified. Because even if you lose your first match, you're still not disqualified. You just have to make sure that to win the rest of the matches. Okay, USA versus Poland, we saw that I think it is the US that is slowing down a boat from Poland. Yeah, so there are 3 boats who still did not turn the first mark as they were fighting. Yes, we can see that the first boat is trying to slow down and help their teammates. So the US is trying to slow down the boats from Poland to make sure that their teammate comes along and they turn the mark in a winning combination. At the moment, the first 2 boats are from the US. Now the third boat is from Poland and it's pretty close. So we'll try to slow them down, make sure that their teammates are close by. Yes, now we can see that the boat from Poland is the US does not turn the mark before their teammates do. And now they're jibing and there might be a protest. The first boat is from the US. But the rest of the fleet is pretty close, and yeah, the boat from Poland managed to get second, and I think it is waiting now to try to slow down the third and fourth boat from the US to make sure that the other boat them close, so that might happen. I think so. And as they're taking a longer route, the other boats from Poland can catch up with the rest of the team. They are very close. And the jury has given a red flag, which means there's a penalty turn for Poland. And I think that penalty turn just harmed the chances of Poland winning this one. Because currently the first 3 boats are from the USA. And there's only 1 Polish boat, no, sorry, close to them, but they have to make sure that they pass and wait for their teammates. They're currently going to the finish line in the last upwind, which is a pretty long leg. We have 2 boats from the USA going towards the right-hand side and another one that went to the left-hand side. And the boats from Poland are in between, mostly on the right-hand side. But they are pretty close as both of these teams have won the last match. And they're making sure that they do everything they can. Team wins, and it's a pretty close match. I think this might be the closest match we've watched today. As the positions change constantly, and both of the teams try to make sure that the other team cannot continue without a fight, let's say. it looks like currently USA is winning. But we will see it better when the boats are closer, as right now there are 4 boats on the left-hand side, 3 on the right, and 1 in the middle. So things might change with a breeze or a wind. They're getting closer to the finish line, and we can see that the first 2 boats are USA, and the third one as well. So in this position, USA is winning against Poland. And yes, they just crossed the finish line. So USA versus Poland, USA has won. And now Latvia and Portugal are at the start line, waiting to start their match. And since both of those teams have lost in their first match, the one losing in this match, so losing twice in a row, will unfortunately be eliminated from the Team Race World Championship. So it is very important for them. It will determine whether they continue or not. And we can see a lot of tacking and jibing on the start line. There's already a red flag in the start from the jury. And I think it was from Latvia. So in the start, we can see that one team is trying to make sure that the other team has a bad start, or sometimes they choose someone from the team and try to finish in front of them and make sure that they do not have a good start from the beginning. Although I wouldn't say it's the most important part of the race, it's not, and the start has a relatively smaller importance in the team race than in the fleet race, but we can still see one team trying to give penalty turns to the other one, so they start a bit later to have a head start. And they have started. Yeah, one of them already jibed in the upwind to get away from the opponent. Oh no, there was an individual recall. A boat from Latvia came back to the start line as it started earlier. So it's coming back to the start line, and the individual recall has been put down, so it was indeed only that boat that started earlier. So now they're all going to the first mark. One of the boats from Latvia is obviously a bit behind because they went back to the start line. But it would be wrong to say anything for certain as this is a team race and all boats are pretty close. So the first two boats that has rounded the first mark are from Portugal, going towards the second mark. The third one is from Latvia, so as the fourth, and if I'm not mistaken, the fifth one. And we will be able to see it better in the downwind. Yes, the first two boats are from Portugal, so they're not really fighting with each other. They're just trying to make sure that their teammates are not in trouble and that they can go to the finish line without waiting for them or going back to the rescue. Because in the team race, if you have a pretty big gap with the rest of the fleet and you're the first two boats, it does not really make sense to go to the finish line. You can just wait a bit and make sure that the third and the fourth boats from your team do not finish the last, because that would make you lose. And it is always better to wait before the finish line to make sure that you're indeed in a winning combination before passing the finish line, which will make it impossible for you to go back and help your teammates. There's another red flag from the jury for Portugal. It is for Portugal, so the Latvian boats are passing that one, which changes the dynamics. The jury is still screaming Portugal. So the boat from Portugal that just had a penalty is currently the last one. The third, fourth, and fifth boats are from Latvia. The jury gave another penalty turn to the same boat from Portugal, so that boat has been turning for a while. Yes, and currently Portugal is first, second, seventh, and eighth, which is actually a losing position. So the first two boats from Portugal are waiting now, and they have to help their teammates so that they pass at least one boat from Latvia if they want to win, because in this current position they are losing, even though they're the first two boats. The seventh boat from Portugal is pretty close to the sixth boat from Latvia, so they will probably fight a bit. But if that boat doesn't manage to pass Latvia on its own, Portugal needs to go back to help their teammates. As the sixth boat from Latvia is not letting the other boat from Portugal alone. Portugal attacks and then Latvia attacks immediately to make sure that they're always together, and that boat indeed finishes seventh and not sixth. So there's always one boat from Latvia that is controlling the two other boats from Portugal that are going to the right-hand side to make sure that they do not pass. And currently we don't see any boats from Portugal going back, but if they finish first, second, seventh, and eighth, they will be losing this match. The first boat from Portugal has crossed the finish line, so that boat cannot go back to help. One boat from Latvia is waiting for the boat from Portugal to make sure that it doesn't pass another teammate that went to the left-hand side, where it was a bit trickier. The last two boats crossed the finish line very close. One was from Portugal and the other one was from Latvia. So depending on who came first, it's either Latvia or Portugal that has won. It was not very clear from went first because they both tackled and crossed the finish line. But if Latvia managed to finish third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they did win this race. And I think we can try to guess which one from their expressions, as the one who lost is eliminated from the team race. Now we have Germany of the third and fourth match. They're in downwind, and it is also very close. So the first boat is from Croatia, just earned the third mark, is standing to see what's happening to their teammates to decide whether he wants to go back or not. He is waiting. He's waiting for the second and the third boat because the second boat is from Croatia with Germany right next to it, and the whole fleet is actually very close. So I think we will see some changes in the position, and they're trying to create some overlap to make sure that they do not have the room turning the fourth mark. Well, it currently looks like Croatia is doing a good job. They are the first, second, and fourth boats, pretty close with Germany, but they're currently winning. One boat from Germany just received a penalty from the jury. So that boat is doing their penalty turn. We have two Croatian boats and one German on the right-hand side, and the German boat is trying to get away from the Croatians, but I think they'll make sure that the German boat stays under control. That's why we see so many tacking. And the other boat from Croatia just bared away to make sure that they're pretty close to the boats from Germany. in case the fourth boat is in trouble. So instead of enlarging the gap between him and the two other boats from Germany, he decided to get closer to them and being able to control and attack wherever they want and maybe mess with them a little bit in case they need to slow them down to win the race, which is actually a pretty good tactic. So going towards the finish line, the first boat is from Croatia. There are two boats coming from the left-hand side with the breeze, one from Croatia, the other one from Germany. We'll see if they catch up with the boats coming from the right-hand side, and it seems like they did. So the first two boats are from Croatia, and the third one could be from Germany. No, but it seems like Croatia has won this race as well. But since Germany won the last one, they are not eliminated. And if they win the next race, they can still continue to race in the qualifications. Okay, now the match between Turkey and Peru has started. They were both the winners of their first match. Towards the first mark. And we will see what happens then. The first boat is from Turkey, and they both started to wait as the whole fleet is actually, and they're trying to slow down the other team to make sure that their own team gets ahead. So now they're pretty close as they all slow down, turning the second, and it feels like we will see a lot of action in the downwind. So the first boat is from Peru, the second one is from Turkey. We have Turkey that laughed and gave a penalty turn to one boat from Peru. Yeah, we can see a lot of them jibing and trying to give the other team a penalty turn. The first two boats are now from Peru. They're checking what their teammates are doing and how is the competition. Yes, it looks like currently Peru has first, second, seventh, and eighth boats, so they're losing. That's why the first boats started to wait and is trying to get ahead of the Turkish. It's very close, and both of the teams are trying to slow the other one down and trying to help out their teammates. So now we have the Turkish boat trying to slow down the one from Peru, and it worked because the there's a crash. Two boats, one from Peru, one from Turkey, touched each other, so the jury has to decide if there's a penalty turn. Okay, a boat from Turkey is doing a penalty turn because it touched the mark. It is now the last upwind of the race, and they're very close. We have the first boat from Turkey, second from Peru, third from Turkey, and the rest is mixed. But due to the penalty turn, we have the last boat from Turkey, so if it ends like this, Peru is winning. Yeah, we can see a lot of screaming because, and the last boat from Peru is trying to communicate with its teammates. We see a lot of tacking between the second, third, and fourth boat, two of them from Peru and one of them from Turkey. And the last one from Turkey actually catched up with the boat from Peru, so it is not the last one anymore. It feels like this one is going to be very close. They're at the half of the last upwind, and they're all trying to control the others, but it's very close at the moment. On the right-hand side, we have two boats from Peru, two boats from Turkey, and they're both trying to slow down the other one to make sure that their other teammate gets ahead. And similarly, on the left-hand side, we have two boats from Turkey, two boats from Peru, and they're also trying to slow down each other. So we have a very balanced two groups. So from the left-hand side, there's Turkey coming first, and from the right-hand side as well, but then there's Peru being third. Fourth. It was very close, and unfortunately we're a bit far away to see what was the exact combination, so I cannot say who won this one, which is a shame because it was very close. It looks like there's no protest, so the result of this match depends entirely on the combination at the finish line. But in any case, neither of the teams are eliminated as they won their first match. But we will try to make sure to let you know which team has won this match before their next one starts. Hello again. It turns out that the Turkish team has won. But as I said, Peru is not eliminated because they won their first match. So they will have another match. And if they win that one, they can still go to the finals. We are currently watching the match between Ukraine and GBR, the winners of their own first match, in their last upwind. We have the first boat coming from Ukraine, the second one from GBR. The first boat crossed from Ukraine. GBR is waiting. The third one is also from Ukraine, and the fourth one from GBR. All right, GBR is waiting to help out their teammates, as the third and fourth one are from Ukraine, and the other one as well. So GBR has to make sure that those boats do not cross the finish line if they want to win. However, they just crossed the line, and it looks like Ukraine has won this match. So GBR will have to win their next match if they want to go to the finals. Now we have Bulgaria versus Azerbaijan, the ones who lost to GBR in Ukraine. So they are currently racing to not to get eliminated. You can see that Bulgaria is the first and second boats going in the last reach. The third boat is from Azerbaijan and the fourth one from Bulgaria. The fifth one from Azerbaijan, so they're pretty close. But since Bulgaria is currently first and second, Azerbaijan needs to make sure that the other two boats finishes last and first from last. This is why right now we can see that the boat from Azerbaijan is bearing away to get close to the boat from Bulgaria and slow it down. Yes, we can see Azerbaijan is trying to slow down the boats from Bulgaria to make sure that its teammates are coming closer. And she's actually doing a good job because Bulgaria is currently struggling. And if they continue like this, there might be a chance that the last boats from Azerbaijan catch up and win the race. But for that to happen, Bulgaria needs to finish last two. Which isn't the case at the moment. For Azerbaijan to win, the boat from the right-hand side needs to pass the last Bulgarian boat. Going towards the finish line, the first two boats from Bulgaria are looking at their teammates if they need any help. Right, the last boat is from Bulgaria, however, Bulgaria 977 did pass the other boats, and because it's not first from last, at the moment Bulgaria has won this match. If it finishes like this. Yeah, they are waiting for each other at the finish line. That Bulgarian boat managed to pass one boat from Azerbaijan. They did win this match, and it means that Azerbaijan was disqualified from the team race championship. And Bulgaria will face Peru in the next match to see who's going to be eliminated and who will have one last match to see to try to go to the finals. All right. At the moment, we can see the match between Thailand and Hungary, the winners of the first match. The first two boats from from Thailand. The third one from Thailand as well. However, Hungary is pretty close, and it needs to make sure to help out its teammates, because in the current situation, Thailand is winning. Right. Doing their last reach. The first one from Thailand is turning the mark. The second and third are its teammates. However, the first boat from Hungary is pretty close to the boat from Thailand. So if they want to win, Hungary 2, 3, 4 needs to slow down one boat from Thailand and make sure that his teammates catches up. They are currently in the last upwind going towards the finish line. In the current situation, Thailand is winning, but we will still have to wait a bit to make sure. But we also need to remember that Thailand is one of the favorites, and they are very good in team race. So it would be surprising for them to lose while they're winning at the very last moment. But again, anything can happen. At the moment, there's still the first two boats. And the boat from Hungary is trying to catch up. Currently, Thailand is first, second, and third, which is a winning combination. So Hungary will need to win its next match to keep racing at the Team Race Championship. Next up, we have Singapore versus Mexico. This is once again a match that will determine which team will be eliminated from the qualifications. And they're currently going towards the first mark. The first boat is from Singapore. The second as well. The third one from Mexico, but it's still the very beginning. The first two boats rounded up the mark. The third and fourth one are also from Singapore. So they're currently, they just need to keep up going and cross the finish line as fast as possible, as they're in a winning combination and they do not have any boats from the other team that is very close by that could create some trouble. All boats are currently trying to go as fast as possible. Singapore just across the finish line, and Mexico to catch up with Singapore to try to mess maybe with two boats and make sure that their teammates comes ahead. But right now it looks like unless something major happens, Singapore is winning, and because they're not mixed, there is not much action going on. Well, in the next match, we see a general recall. Going back to the match between Singapore and Mexico, it looks like nothing has changed. Singapore is still in first, second, third, and fourth position. They're going towards the finish line. They just rounded up the fourth mark to go the last upwind. The first one from Mexico is actually close now to the last board from Singapore. But as I said, as they are winning with ease at the moment, they're just trying to cross the finish line as fast as possible, while making sure that they don't go too far or to the opposite direction from Mexico, to make sure that nothing happens in the upwind with one side being more favorable than the other one. So in case they go close to the boats from Mexico, they should be winning. And we can also see that the sailors are on trapeze, so they're hiking, as the wind has picked up, which is not the most favorable thing for a team race, as having lighter wind makes it easier for boats to be closer to each other, which creates more action, which is what needed in team race, which makes it fun. So yes, at the moment, Singapore is just going to cross the finish line to win. Which will mean that Mexico is eliminated from the team race qualifications. Now we can currently see the match between Sweden and Bermuda. It looks like they're pretty mixed. The first one being from Sweden, waiting for the one from Bermuda, so that the other boats from Sweden catches up, because it's making sure that the other boats from Bermuda could not turn the mark. Yeah, they're still waiting. Now it's the boat from Bermuda that is waiting for his teammates to go back and slowing down the boats from Sweden. So we can see the two other boats from Bermuda just turned the mark, thanks to their teammates that slowed down the Swedish ones. But the whole fleet is pretty close. As boats from Bermuda is trying to slow down the boats from Sweden. They're currently in a winning position, however, the fleet is very close, so it would be wrong to any outcome at the moment. And Bermuda is having a penalty turn. They just had a penalty turn. And Sweden is very close. Sweden is first and second. As we can see, there's a port starboard situation, but now Bermuda is going to try to create overlap with Sweden. We have one Swedish boat in between two boats from Bermuda. So probably the one boat is trying to slow down the other one to help its teammates. They are pretty close. They're waiting. They're waiting, yes. Bermuda is trying to slow down Sweden. They're trying to slow down each other, but it cannot bear away more because Sweden is there. There's, I think Sweden has just protested. We'll see what's the situation. It's the jury's decision. Sweden is trying to slow down Bermuda and make sure that its teammate can get away, which did not work. They're very close, going all together towards the fourth mark. Bermuda is once again doing a penalty turn. They went very far from the mark, that's why they had to jibe. Sweden is waiting. Because it's such a close match, they're all waiting and trying to slow down the other team, which has worked because we've seen the positions change all the time. And once again, there's Sweden waiting in the beginning of the mark. But there's a penalty turn for Sweden. It is turning. So we have one boat from Bermuda and the other one from Sweden going to the right-hand side. The one from Bermuda attacked. The rest of the team is leading. At the moment, it looks like Sweden is winning. However, it is still close. And both of these teams looks pretty experienced with helping out their teammates and changing the positions. Yeah, we can see everyone is trying to slow down the other by attacking right in front to make sure they have bad wind. It is pretty close. We have one boat from Bermuda and the other one was Sweden, very close to the finish line. at the moment the first two boats are from Sweden, and the fourth one as well, which means they are winning this one. Okay, we have. Okay, they just crossed the finish line. We have first boat from Sweden, then Bermuda, and then Sweden again. Yeah, in this current situation, Sweden should win. But as Bermuda won the last race, once again, they're still not eliminated. And they will race against Singapore to see if they can continue the team race championship. Now we have Chile and Estonia, the losers of the first match with against Sweden and Bermuda. And the winner of this race will continue while the loser will be disqualified. So currently we have Chile in first and second position, and the third one from Estonia. They're constantly looking back to see where their teammates are, if they need any help. Yeah, the first boat is waiting. Chile is waiting to help out. Yeah, we can see they're trying to block Estonia from turning the mark while they're waiting for their other teammate to catch up. So now there are 4 boats in front of the mark. None of them are turning the mark. Yeah, they waited for the second half of the fleet. So now they're all very close. Boats from Chile, they're now all turning, protesting each other, and there's a red flag for, we'll see who the jury decided was in fault. Okay, Chile is now doing a penalty turn. The first 2 boats are from Estonia, but the third, fourth, and fifth is from Chile. So it is pretty close. This penalty turn was very bad for Chile because they did help their teammates to catch up, but while doing so, because they had a penalty, at the moment Estonia is winning. Estonia is in the first, second, 6th, and 7th position, which is winning. So Chile needs to do some. Yeah, we can see a boat from Chile is trying to mess up with the one from Estonia to make sure that their teammate that just got a penalty can catch up. So they are waiting in front of the line, the mark. But the second boat from Estonia also came back to help out their teammates. They're constantly going back to help out their teammates. So it is indeed, once again, a close race. There is only the first boat from Estonia that now has a gap that is going towards the finish line. The second one came back, and now the rest of the fleet is pretty close. They're now in the last upwind. but further away from each other, so there isn't as much jibing, tacking, and slowing each other actions. But it is a shame. The boat from Chile really did make a good move, slowing down the entire fleet and waited for the second half. The whole fleet really got closer together, but that penalty turn really did change the course of the race. So now the first boat from Estonia is pretty close to the finish line, but it is waiting in case it needs to go back and help out his teammates. So waiting in front of the finish line, probably calculating what position they are. And yes, he's waiting not to get into the finish line, because once you cross that line, you cannot go back and help out your teammates. So waiting at the finish line, calculating the combination, and he's going back. He's going back to help out. Trying to slow down. Another boat. Now it just crossed the line. You can see Estonia has the first position. And the screen is unfortunately blurry, so I cannot see the countries. But the last boat was from Estonia. Yeah, we will need to go back to that one to see who won, and I think we can figure that out in the next match, as the one who lost this race will not be racing again in the Team Race Championship. Now we have USA versus Croatia. Both of these teams have won their first two matches. So the one who wins this match will directly go to the finals. They will be qualified to race tomorrow. And the losing one will have to do another match to see if they're in the pool or qualified. So we are indeed watching two teams that had a strong performance this morning. We can see that they are divided into two groups, two USA, two Croatia on the right-hand side, and the same on the left-hand side. And they're trying to slow each other down. We just saw that the first boat from the USA tried to slow down Croatia, but Croatia is now trying to protest the boat from the US, and we will see what the jury decides. We can see the protest flags up, and the jury decided that someone was in fault, but it's for Croatia. Croatia is now doing a penalty turn. And in the current situation, USA is winning this match, as they are the first, second, and third boat, and possibly the fourth. Yes, indeed. USA versus Croatia. USA has won, and it is the first team from the Course B that is qualified to race tomorrow. Now we are watching the match between Portugal and Germany. The losing team of this match will be eliminated from the qualifications. And as they're going downwind towards the third mark, it looks like Germany is in the first and second position. Waiting a bit to see what happens in the back. You can see that in team racing, it is very important if you are the first or the second boat to not to have too much gap, to wait and to see what's happening in the back, because what will determine if your team loses or wins is the total points. And as now we're going forward in the qualifications, we will see teams that are experienced in team racing each other. So there will be a lot of actions, a lot of tacking, a lot of change in the position. So it is crucial for the teams to look back what happens in the team and go back to slow down the other team if needed to win the race. This is why Germany is currently waiting, for instance. So the boat from Germany is controlling the one from Portugal to make sure that it stays in that position. And they will probably constantly be tacking in the upwind. Because while one of the boats from Portugal is controlling one from Germany, the one from Germany that is in front is controlling the boat from Portugal to help out their teammate. So they are constantly looking back, calculating if they're in a winning or losing combination, and help their teammates if they're in need. So currently we have Germany in the first position, and then also in second. So as they're the first and second, they just need to make sure that their teammates do not finish 7th and 8th. But it looks like the third boat is also from Germany, which means they can cross the finish line with a clear conscience and win their match. Yes, as Germany finishes this match in the first, second, and third position, they won, which means that Portugal is now eliminated from the team race. Right now we have Poland versus Bahrain. Once again, the losing team will be disqualified and the winning team will have to do another match to see if they're qualified or get in the pool. We can see that the wind has picked up and they're all going towards the third mark. It is pretty mixed. We'll have to count the positions to see who's winning. So the first boat is from Poland, the second one coming from Bahrain, with the third one also being from Poland. And so the boat from Bahrain is trying to slow down the boat from Poland to try to help its teammate that is also pretty close by. And it did manage. But someone got a red flag, so someone will have to do a penalty turn, which is a boat from Bahrain. But they are catching up. So the first boat is from Poland. The second one is from Bahrain. The second and third. So in this position, Poland is winning. So Bahrain needs to help out their teammates if they want to win. As they are second and third, they could win this match if their teammates finishes in 6th and 7th position. And this is what they're trying to do, but we will see if it works at the end. Yeah, now the first boat from Poland has a pretty big gap. It is going towards the finish line, probably checking out if their teammates are winning. Bahrain is trying to slow down Poland to help their teammates get in front. But they need to work a bit harder if they want to win. So we have first boat from Poland, second from Bahrain, third from Poland. So if the fourth boat is also from Poland, Poland will be winning. Okay. Bahrain also crosses the line. Okay. So as Bahrain finished 7th and 8th, and the first one was from Poland, it looks like Poland has won this match. And they are going towards the umpire boat, so we'll see if there are any protests, because that could change the course of the race. But if nothing changes, Poland will move forward in the qualifications. Right, now we will watch the match between Ukraine and Turkey. Both of these teams have won both of their matches this morning. So the one winning this race will be the second team of the day that qualifies for tomorrow with the USA. We can see how they line up in the start line. And it started from the very beginning. We can see one boat bearing away and trying to make sure that a Turkish boat is trying to make sure that boats from Ukraine are not getting a good start. They are still around the start line. I would say, as both of these teams have never lost today, we can expect to see a match that is full of action and a lot of tacks and jibes and trying to give the other team penalty. They already started pretty strong before even the start. We can see that both of the teams are trying to get a good position at the committee boat, and they're fighting for a good spot. And they are very mixed. You can see that there is Ukrainian boats next to every Turkish boat. And now it started. There is a start. The fleet is pretty mixed. They already started tacking a lot around the committee boat. Yeah, as you can see, there's been at least 15 tacks from the beginning because they are very close and they're all trying to slow each other down. Right now we have 3 Turkish boats that are ahead, but right next to them there's another one from Ukraine, and the rest of the fleet is from Ukraine at the moment, and the last boat is from Turkey. So it is pretty close, and they will probably try to slow each other down a lot by the mark. Yeah, they already started doing that. As they have to turn to mark ports, it gives the possibility for other people to wait, as the one from Turkey is doing, to make sure that the other boats are not turning the mark, and they're waiting for their teammates to get closer. So there's only one boat that turned the mark at the moment. It is one from Ukraine. Now there's another one from Turkey, but they all slowed down, and now the whole fleet is together again. And turning the marks. Yeah, the first boat from Ukraine is continuing its race, while the rest of the fleet is jibing and tacking to wait for their teammates. So at the current position, we have Ukraine being first, second, and 7th and 8th, which is a losing position, but they're very close. So we will see what happens. The first boat is checking its teammates to see if it should continue or go back to help its teammates. Right, now we have the second boat from Ukraine, followed by 3 boats from Turkey. Right. She's still continuing, being the first with a big gap with the rest of the fleet. but still checking her teammates to see if they need help. So it looks like it will come down to this group, this part of the fleet that we're seeing on the screen, to see who's winning this match. As we can see, they're all jibing and they're laughing to... Yes, the Turkish boat just tried to give a penalty to the boat from Ukraine. There are a lot of protests going on, and it will boil down to the decision of the jury. And then now there's a Turkish boat trying to slow down the one from Ukraine, and the one from Ukraine is doing the same thing to the boats from Turkey. Yes, the first boat from Ukraine is now waiting for her teammates, which is probably the right thing to do as it is pretty chaotic out there. So now we have Ukraine being in the first, second, and fourth position, although it is hard to tell because now they're going towards the mark and we are not sure how it's going to go. So yeah, the second boat is from Ukraine, the third from Turkey, the fourth is trying to slow the other down. Okay, now the whole fleet is in the last upwind going towards the finish line. And it looks like in the current composition, Ukraine is winning. However, Turkey is still pretty close. So they need to catch up with the boats in front to be qualified for the races tomorrow. But as I said, currently it is pretty close, so it's still not sure which team is winning. Okay, we still have the first boat from Ukraine. However, the second one is now from Turkey and the third one is from Ukraine. Right. The first boat just crossed the finish line, and it will boil down to what happens to this group. So Ukraine went second, first and second, and unless they did last two, they won this race. Yes, as the seventh boat is from Turkey, it looks like Ukraine has won this race. And if they did, this means that they're the second team qualified today for tomorrow's races. And Turkey will have to do another match to see if they're qualified or in the pool. Now GBR is the next race is once again a race to define who will be disqualified from the races and who will get to have another match to have a chance to be qualified for tomorrow's finals. So we have GBR versus Virgin Islands. And currently, Virgin Islands is in the first, second, and fourth position, which is winning. However, GBR is pretty close. So we will see if they'll be able to help their teammates and slow down their opponents. They're going towards the last upwind. They're currently in a winning position. First, second, and fourth. But as the fourth boat is in between two boats from GBR, they might try to slow her down a lot to make sure that their teammates gets ahead. Because the last boat is from Virgin Islands, so the boat from GBR needs to make sure that the fourth boat that is from Virgin Islands finishes 7th, because that is the only combination in the current situation that will help them win. Okay, currently we have the first boat from Virgin Islands that just crossed the finish line. The second one is from GBR. The third one from Virgin Islands, the fourth one. Yes, in this position, Virgin Islands should have won this match. So in this case, it will be GBR that says goodbye to the Team Race Championship. All right, so going to the next match, we have Peru against Bulgaria, which is once again a match that will define which team will get disqualified and which one will get to have another chance to be qualified for tomorrow. They are going close. We can see that the first boat is from Peru, the third one as well, and they are waiting for the boats from Bulgaria to try to slow them down and get their teammates close by. So there's the boat from Peru that does not allow the boat from Bulgaria to turn the mark. And while this was happening, two of his teammates gets ahead, and now Peru is, I was going to say top 3, but Bulgaria is also pretty close, so it's not very sure. Currently, they're the first and second boat, the third one being from Bulgaria that is very close as well. And now, once again, the positions have changed. And Bulgaria is doing a penalty turn. Currently, we have Peru rounding the third mark, having the first, second, and third position, which is a winning combination. So if they manage to finish this race like this, they will win this match. So right now what they need to do is just trying to go as fast as possible, and even if their teammates finishes last one, they'll be still winning. They are rounding the mark, going to the last upwind. Yes, and in this position, they just try to go as fast as possible, keeping an eye on the closest boat from Bulgaria to make sure he doesn't come from somewhere with a nice breeze. But they should be good. The finish is right ahead. Yeah, now the boat from Peru attacked because it was in a bad position for its own teammate. And now, since they all have clear wind, they're just going straight to the finish line. And in this position, Bulgaria will have to say goodbye to the Teammates Championship. Yes, and as expected, Peru just finished in first, second, and third position. So they still have a chance to qualify for tomorrow. Currently, we're watching Thailand versus Sweden. Once again, a match between two teams who have never lost today. And the one who wins this match will directly be qualified for tomorrow. So we have Thailand trying to slow down Sweden, and Sweden trying to do the same thing to another boat from Thailand. It is very close. Yet again, these are two teams that performed the best this morning. And Thailand is the latest World Team Champion. So we can expect to see a lot of action in this match. So now we have the first boat from Thailand, second and third from Sweden, fourth from Thailand. So in this situation, Thailand's need to finish fifth and seventh the least to win, because currently it is Sweden that is winning, but it is only the downwind, and we'll see what happens. Now with the room at the mark, the first two boats are from Sweden, and Thailand went back to the third and fourth position. And now I have to take that back because there's another boat from Thailand being in the second position at the moment. Sweden is slowing down. Trying to cut Thailand's wind, which worked. So now Thailand is waiting and Sweden is in the first two position. Which means that Thailand will do everything for the last two Swedish boats to finish in 7th and 8th position. Well, which is why the boats from Sweden just waited, which meant that, well, it is very close. They're all waiting for each other. And there's a penalty turn for Thailand. And this penalty turn meant that at the moment Sweden is winning. The first boat is from Thailand, but he needs to help his teammate and slow down the Swedish because currently they're losing. So Thailand is currently in the 1st and 4th position. So it depends on their teammates, but unless they're 5th and 6th, Sweden looks like the winner. So we have the first boat from Thailand, 2nd and 3rd from Sweden, as well as the 4th. Yes, it looks like Sweden just won this race, meaning that they are qualified with the USA and Ukraine for tomorrow's finals. And Thailand will have to do another match to see what happens to them. Hello, we are once again with a race that will define a team that will be qualified for tomorrow. So it is Poland versus Turkey. The winner will be the fourth team that is qualified from the course B. And the loser will go to the pool, as well as all the losers of the three matches we will have next. And the best of the pool will be the last team that is qualified from this course. So currently they are going towards the first mark. And the positions are pretty mixed. The first boat is from Turkey. The boat from Poland is waiting for its teammates. The boat from Turkey is doing a penalty turn, probably touched the mark. So now it is pretty close, with the first one being from Turkey, second from Poland, third and fourth from Turkey as well. So the boat from Poland that is in the middle of three Turkish boats will have to find a way to slow them down to help his teammates to catch up. As it's now the afternoon in Bodrum, the wind has picked up, so it will make some of the maneuvers more difficult within the team race. But now we only have the experienced teams, so it will still be with a lot of action. So once again, the situation has changed. The first boat is now from Poland. We can see that the last four boats are very close to each other, and they're trying to find their way to have a good position while rounding out the mark. All right, so now the first two boats are from Turkey, the third and fourth from Poland. And the last one from Poland as well, because he's now doing a penalty turn. So in this situation, currently, Turkey is winning. So they're now turning the last mark, going towards the finish line and the last upwind. Turkey's position are first, second, sixth, and seventh, which is winning. However, the three Polish boats are very close. So it will boil down to what happens in the last upwind. So as always, we have 1 versus 1 in one hand side of the course, and the same situation happening in the second side of the course. But now we have also a lot of boats in the middle. They're now just controlling each other. As one tacks, all the other boat tacks, because they one of them is trying to get away from the other boats, and the third one is just looking out for their teammates. And because they're constantly tacking on the left-hand side, they are slowing down. And if there are boats on the right-hand side, they are not tacking but going directly, they might be catching up with them. We can see that between the Turkish and the Polish boat on the left-hand side, they've been tacking for a while now, but now they gave up on the tacking and are just continuing towards the finish line. We have the first two boats from Turkey, and they are slowing down to probably see the situation with their teammates and waiting before crossing the finish line. As the third boat is from Poland. So to win, they must make sure that at least one of their teammates finishes in front of one Polish boat. So they're trying to slow down the boat from Poland, and the boat from Turkey is coming, but right next to the finish line, obviously Poland is trying to slow them down and to make sure that the two Turkish boats finishes the last. But did they? Okay. That was a pretty close finish. So depending on what was the situation at the finish line and who crossed the line first, if Turkey finished first, second, seventh, and eighth, they lost. But if it was first, second, and anything else than seventh and eighth, they are qualified. However, the loser of this race is still not disqualified. They will have to race with the other teams that are in the pool to have a chance to be qualified for tomorrow. And now we have the same situation going on with Virgin Islands and Thailand. As Thailand being the three first boats, at the moment they're winning and they just need to cross the finish line. They're also the fourth boat at the moment. So it is a less stressful match than we just watched. Right, we are now continuing to watch the match between Virgin Islands and Thailand. Thailand is still leading this match. And if they finish like this, they are the fifth country of the day that qualifies from the Course B. So today has started with 24 countries racing in the Course B, and the same thing goes for the Course A, and only 8 of these will qualify tomorrow's races. And as the same thing is happening in the Course A, in total we're going down from 48 countries to 16. And tomorrow we will continue with the last 16 teams to the finals and see who's the winner of the 2022 Team Racing World Championship. Currently from the Course B, we have USA, Ukraine, Sweden going to qualified for tomorrow. And as the finish was very close between Poland and Turkey, I'm still not sure which one got win because they had a very, very close finish line. So depending if the last Turkish boat finished 6th or 7th, it is either Poland or Turkey that is already qualified for tomorrow. And the other team will have another match today to see if they are qualified or not. So the losing team of the last race still has a chance to go. And currently we're seeing the 3 boats from Thailand crossing the finish line. So they are officially the 5th team from Course B that are qualified for tomorrow, alongside USA, Ukraine, Sweden, and potentially Poland or Turkey. So now the Virgin Islands is officially the second team in the pool. There will be 4 teams in the pool, and the best one will be the last team to qualify for tomorrow's finals. So now we're watching the match between Croatia and Bermuda. That is once again the same situation. The winner is qualified and the loser goes to the pool. We see a lot of stopping and slowing down at the first mark. The boat from Croatia and Bermuda are not letting each other to turn the mark. But now it looks like from this fight, Bermuda has come strong, and they're now the first, second, and third boats that is winning. There's a boat from Croatia that is doing a penalty turn, which is expected from so many boats trying to turn the mark at the same time. And yes, currently Bermuda is winning. However, there are 2 Croatian boats that are pretty close. So if they manage to slow them down and wait for their teammates, they still have a chance to win this match. Yeah, we can see the boats from Bermuda trying to get away from the Croatians that are doing anything they can to stop them. They just jibed, so the one from Bermuda jibed as well. And if they have an overlap, they can just start to go reach instead of downwind, waiting for the rest. Currently going the last upwind. It is now very close. You can now see one boat from Croatia and another one from Bermuda going to the right-hand side. And the leading boat from Croatia is just looking around to see what's happening. I'm sorry, that is not the leading boat. There's Bermuda coming from the left. So now it looks like the first boat is from Bermuda, the second is from Croatia that just protested the third boat from Bermuda. And now I believe that was jury's decision, which was not a red flag, so it is clean. Going to the finish line, the boat from Bermuda just did a penalty turn to avoid a protest from the boat from Croatia, and now It is two boats from Bermuda that are the closest to the finish line. And as they're finishing the first and second, their first and second, so there's Croatia that is trying to slow down the other ones because that is the only case that they would win. But in the current situation, it looks like Bermuda is winning. So Croatia has to slow them down. Which is why we're seeing the situation where the Croatian boat is bearing away to let the other one. So we have the first one crossing from Bermuda, the second one as well, but then there's Croatia, and it's a pretty mixed finish. It is a very mixed finish, and it looks like Croatians are asking something to the finish line as well. Maybe for the positions. So when the boats are that close to the finish line, sometimes it is very hard to understand which country has won, because it depends on what the race committee sees from the boats, because sometimes two boats are crossing the line almost at the same time, and it boils down to the race committee's decision to see who passed first, and depending on that one or two boats, the winning team may change. Currently, we're watching the last race of the day in Course B, being Peru versus Chile, to be the last team qualifying for tomorrow's races, except the ones in the pool. So once again, we can see a lot of boats waiting around in the first mark, because since you have to turn the mark when you're port, it is pretty difficult because there are a lot of boats coming from starboard and they have the right of way. So currently we have the first and second boats from Chile, and third, fourth, and fifth from Peru, which means that currently Chile is winning, but it is close, and we will see. Okay, now the boats from Chile are trying to make sure that Peru takes a longer time to turn that mark so that their teammate catches up. But the same thing goes from the boats from Peru. So they're basically all fighting with another one. And we can see kind of three groups on one-to-one between one boat from Peru and one from Chile. It is pretty close and mixed. We have the first boat from Peru, the second one from Chile, third and fourth one from Peru as well, but the one from Chile is pretty close. So we will see what happens in the mark. Although currently Peru is in a better situation because they also have the room at the mark, which means they're probably going to wait for their teammates. And yes, currently the first three boats are from Peru, but there's one boat from Chile that is in the between of all. So if that boat manages to catch up and to slow them down, anything could happen. But I'm going towards the last mark. Peru is in a winning combination. Now there's a red flag from the jury to a boat from Chile that was their hope to get in front of the boats from Peru. So right now, Peru has a big chance of winning as they have a big gap. They're the first three boats, and even the fourth boat is in front of the group from Chile. Especially with winds, with breeze, when you have a penalty turn, it really is a disadvantage because it takes longer to turn, and while you're wasting your time turning, the other boats goes faster. So it really makes. So this is what happened to Chile. Peru is first, second, third, and potentially fourth. Which is the strongest combination you can have to win. And if something major does not happen, it looks like they're winning, which means they're the last team of the day that qualified from Course B for tomorrow's finals. And we will see what happens with the teams in the pool tomorrow. And as expected, the first boats just crossed the finish line, and Peru just guaranteed their tickets for the finals tomorrow. And this was our last broadcast for today. We'll see you all tomorrow for tomorrow's races in the finals and see who will be the winner of the 2022 Team Racing World Championship.